What's up, everyone? Look what's going on with Trump. Let's talk about Trump for a minute, Trump's case. I'm going to show you this little clip of this, how this judge reacted when they unlawfully made orders against Trump's property. We'll show you right here. Now you take a look at that for a minute, and I want you to understand something. That's the way these judges act. They think they can do as they please, and they smirk about it, act like freaking dipshit assholes about it because they think they're the judge, and that's how it is. Nobody can do nothing to them, and what they say is set in stone. But my other issue here is what goes on with the people here, right? Everybody wants to act like, oh, well, because the sheriff said this or that about me, then I'm some kind of criminal. And so they have the right to do what they please. But the truth is, now you got some rich old man that everybody wants to support, and everybody's all up in arms. What'd they do to him? Exactly what they did to me. Okay, but they do it to Trump, and every one of you guys who should be supportive of me, our whole county's mostly Republican, right? But now we got all these MAGA people, Republicans or whatever, up in arms because what's the excuse they gave? Well, because the court made an order against Donald Trump's property without due process, right? What do you think I'm up here bitching about? That's exactly what they've done to me. The court made orders against my property without due process. They didn't follow due process. I say it and everybody's like, oh, let's go back to sleep, right? Who gives a shit, right? Who gives a shit about this guy who has nothing now? The court made all these unlawful orders, 2 different courts right here in this county, made all these unlawful orders, and every one of these people charged with doing something about it, such as, you know, the prosecutor here, everyone that's charged with doing something about it won't do a damn thing about it. When it comes to Trump, everybody's all up in arms and everybody's all fucking irate, right? Oh, how dare you do that to Trump, this rich bastard who's got everything he could ever want. How dare you do that? You know, I'm not saying it's right what they did to Trump, of course not. But what are they doing to me, right? It's exactly what they did to me. And that's when I come on here, I start making these videos, say, hey, I want to let you guys know what's going on. And where's my problem started. And right from the start was my claim. The court acted against my property without due process. Go back to sleep, who cares about it, right? But they do it to Trump, the guy you think is so great, the same old man that, made these orders, made you slaves with the Paycheck Protection Program, raised all our debt up because he wanted to, follow along with the system when they did all this shit about the pandemic and, put us all in debt and everybody's okay about that. And then and then went right along with the whole vax problem, with the Project Warp Speed and all that. But let's go ahead and feel sorry for him, and let's all get pissed off because they made an order against Trump without due process. Hey, I agree, that's wrong, right? It's illegal for the court, and the judge should be held responsible. What about what goes on with me here in Defiance, right? They made orders against me without due process. The court took my property without due process, and nobody says a word, okay? Ignorance. So you people that support Trump want to talk about how ignorant the left is and how the woke is all crazy and all this and that. You guys are every bit as much as the same amount of cult as the other side. You guys act just the same way, just about different things, okay? Let's all get pissed off for whatever they do to Trump, but when they do it to any of us individually, the people who deserve action, let's just ignore it. That's exactly what they've done to me. The court took my property without due process. I'm talking about way in the beginning of my whole case. 2 years, almost 2 years. Next month will be, a month from today, it'll be 2 years that this all started. And what happened? The court ordered me away from my property, took all my property away without following due process. Everybody snores about it or argues with me about it, about how they're in the right. and they're not, but they do it to Trump, and everybody's pissed off, right? Anyways. All right, everyone. I posted that at the beginning of this. We'll see. I talk about a couple things. First of all, today, you know, I guess we're getting religious up in here with some stuff. I'll probably cut it into 2 videos. I want to talk a little bit about this Trump situation that you've seen from the beginning, and then I'll go into this stuff about a friend of mine posted a question on one of my videos about the whole Israel-Hamas situation, and so to keep too much of the video from getting too long, I'll probably break it into 2, but we'll discuss that too. So most likely we'll be breaking into the Bible today, right? Seem to be doing that a lot here lately, but now's the time more than ever. But anyways, let's talk about this Trump situation. It's not very often I get to pay attention to too much of the news right now lately, but I happen to catch a little bit of something. I'm gonna try to find the proper clip for it. I'm already trying to find it. Can't find it. I seen it on the TV, and then now I'm trying to search for it and can't find it, because I'd like the one. If I find it, I'll post it on there. But specific one is talking about Trump's property. This lawyer I think in New York there, made this ruling against Trump's property, like totally devalued it or whatever. And according to Trump's people, they're pretty irate because they're saying that violated due process for Trump's property, right? They, making orders against his property without following due process of law. And of course, that gets me a little irate, and it has nothing to do with Trump. I want to talk about, because I'm not saying I haven't paid a whole lot of attention to the whole situation, but when they're right. Due process is our rights, no matter who you are, how rich or poor you are. You're an American, you have due process rights, and our Constitution recognizes that. And a thing that gets me, well, first of all, we'll talk, it's about the men of law, is what, so what Hillary Clinton came out here not too long ago with this thing saying the Trump supporters are a cult following or whatever.
Those extremists, those MAGA extremists, take their marching orders from Donald Trump. He's only in it for himself. He's now defending himself in civil actions and criminal actions. And when do they break with him? Because at some point, maybe there needs to be a formal deprogramming of the cult members.
That kind of made a lot of the Republicans, or, the right, the people on the right, kind of irate. And, who is she to call that? And I can almost sympathize with that, because I'm like, the people on the people that support Hillary or Biden or that side, they are clearly brainwashed like a cult, right? In my opinion. And not all, now, but I'm saying the ones that do support them, that support clear evil people and who have no regard for any of us little people, any of us the people, they're more of a cult than the Trump side. But we can't totally discount that, because the truth is the Trump supporters, and if you can support whichever side you want. I personally don't support either side. I support America. I support people who are beholden to the Constitution. Those are the politicians I will support. And none of them are truly beholden to the Constitution anymore. The Constitution means nothing anymore, and that's the truth. And I'll just keep saying Constitution for my various reasons in this video. Anyway, let me not get off track here. So, but the thing is, you know, it's almost the truth, okay? People are supporting Trump and they want to point the finger at the people on the left and how they're brainwashed and buying into everything that these kooks, and I will say, yeah, they're way worse off than the right, for the most part, the majority of it, for the whole woke thing and all that, you know, all the ridiculous stuff coming out from the left. But the right it can't excuse itself, you know. The left wing and the right wing are part of the same bird, right? We've all heard that. Well, it's the truth, you know, and that bird, it controls both wings. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I despise Hillary. That's for certain. And you just have to follow along enough. But if anyone's followed my website or follow me on social media, you know that I despise the Clintons and the Obamas, but also Bush. You know, you're either a good, righteous person or you're not, and you're either beholden to the Constitution or you're not, and you're either doing your job as whether you're president, whatever public service you're doing. You're not our king, you're not our master. You're either doing your job as according to the way this republic is supposed to be ran, or you're not. And if you're not, no matter what, then you don't belong in there. It's not the less of two evils. We need no evils in there, especially in times like these. Okay? And so anyway, the thing is, they're all irate over, I get people act like, and many of them are Republicans and stuff, act like I should just accept my case, what's going on in my life, and just move on. But when they come out against Trump and they attack his due process rights, they ignore his due process rights, and now all of a sudden they're trying to appeal it, and all his supporters are all irate over this. Oh, that's wrong. They violated his due process for his property and all that. This rich man who's done all these things, I've already said that have been un-American. And, I'm not saying he don't have good intentions for America and he don't in his heart love America more than these others, but he's still part of the same system. And some of this is for show. And some of this is to reel people in, and you can choose to believe that or not. And what side you choose and way you vote is your choice. I'm not here to. I'm here to point out some things here. It's not really about that. What I'm pointing about. Let's take my case, okay, and locally or whatever. Nobody's standing up saying, "Look what you did to this man," But it happens to Trump, a rich man who don't know shit about you, right? He is also a rich man north of Richmond, right? And I'm not second thought to this man, right? But he would expect that I should sympathize with his case. Oh, how dare you devalue Mar-a-Lago and the Trump Tower and all that stuff? How dare you devalue that? How dare you make actions against that without following due process? Well, I mean, that's true, and we need to stand up against it when they're violating rights, period, no matter who it is. So, I'm not trying to say you shouldn't be upset over that, but what are you doing when it's happening to your fellow man? Because you can follow along that dog and pony show all you want, and be fooled by the smoke and mirrors. But what's happening to us down here, and it's not just me, but I'm using, I certainly know from experience, and that's why I'm referring to my case. And my case is far from done as far as I'm concerned, but what are we doing? We're ignoring it when it happens to the little people. When it happens to our very neighbors, we're ignoring it, right? They ordered, and that's what happened in my case right from the beginning, way back in November of 2021, on the very day of November 12th, 2021, the day after I sat in jail all night, and before they would release me, I had to go through my court ordeal through video conference right from jail, and either I respect that judge and agree with what he says, or I don't get released, right? So they had me in there under duress, under, you know, and pretty much coerced in to accepting whatever, because otherwise I'm not getting out of jail, right? So what they did that very day was take away my property with no due process. And I've already explained that a lot, but people don't seem to understand it. But the thing is, a lot of the people that don't want to understand it or stand in line with me, you know, they're quick to be all pissed off about what they did to Trump. I'm not saying what they did to Trump is right. So how this judge reacts, you know, you see his smirk and his laughing when he does that against Trump, when he violates Trump, and that's not right. But I'm saying this is the people we have in our courts, in our. All right. They're just little doggies. But but that's how they act, you know, and that's how they, you know, you can see it in my case. If you watch some of my videos, if you go to the one where I'm talking to the sheriff, and you know, I invite you to watch that one, but then look for their number of the sheriff's department and give them a call and tell them what you think if you watch that and don't agree with what they're doing to me. Anyways, but you can see that sheriff's smirks in his face, but you can see where he's worried on certain things I say, but then you can see the smirks in his face, and that's the way these people are. They smirk and laugh about what they're doing to you. And the thing is, it's one thing they do it to Trump. It's not right. This is who they are. They're above everybody, and they think they're God, and they can make all these rules and be held unaccountable. But they're doing it way worse to people like you and me. You go to court and they step on your life, and sometimes you don't even realize it, and you walk away, you accept whatever, and they're laughing, you know, all behind closed doors. They're laughing their ass off at you. They don't care. That's the kind of scum we're dealing with, and that's the truth. And I hate to say that, but if these people would step in honor, and then I would talk to them honorably, you know what I mean? And I would show them being in honor. And it was never my intention to start. I started this YouTube channel before I actually started doing my videos, and the direction I was going to take it was different than what's going on now. Right now, this is the way I'm forced to do it, and you know, I've explained a lot of that before. Everyone who is following along, I thank you very much. You know, everyone, our subscriptions are far from where we need them, but they're growing, and I appreciate everyone that's taking the time to watch my videos, everyone that takes the time to subscribe. I appreciate it very much. And the thing is, but we're the little people down here, right? Where these people come into law, come into their positions, and they want to, they think they have a right to treat us however they want, you know, ruin our lives if they want. And the thing is, Trump's got plenty of money. He's got ways to fight this. Someone like me, I can't. You know, I'm fighting it the only way I know how. I got no money. And there's another option I got to look into. A friend sent me, I got a few friends sending me different avenues to check into, and I am doing that. And hopefully I end up getting somewhere. Like my one buddy sent me a thing for this lawyer that you know, they don't get paid unless I win, you know, if they'll take my case or whatever. And that's what I need, because I ain't like Trump. I ain't got a bunch of money to throw down at a lawyer, you know. And the truth is, if Trump's due process was violated and his lawyer don't get that job done, then he's wasting money and needs to find a real lawyer. He can afford it, you know. But people like you and me, we usually can't. And that's when I first started seeing what was happening. I still wasn't trying to throw these guys out there as being all dishonorable and stuff. That wasn't my intentions. My intentions were to show us, to share on what we can do on how to handle these matters professionally, as professionally as possible, respectfully through the system, because we can't afford lawyers, you know, and the lawyers are scumbags, and you know, and especially the ones that you got to pay no matter what, because they're going to take your money and they're going to get paid no matter what happens to you. And the truth is, they're tied in with these guys because they're friends with these guys because a judge used to be a lawyer. They're all in the same group. They're all in the same club. But, that's just what kind of scum we're dealing with. And then, so then let's break it out. Who are these people? And, and to those, whether you're, I'm going to quit apologizing for this stuff because I do come out with, break out the Bible with stuff. And but it's legitimate, and like I keep saying, if you want to understand the law, you should understand the Bible, and that's the truth, because this is the foundation of it. And a lot of people might disagree with that, but there are people who do truly understand the law, and they will tell you that the foundations of law, of how we know it, comes from the Bible, which is supposed to be the law, God's law, right? Natural law is where the foundations, natural law comes from the foundations of the law through the Bible, right? But my only thing is, okay, God's going to give justice one way or another. You can, whether I win anything in my case, you can feel like you defeated me, Sheriff Ingo, Judge Roars, especially my piece of crap lawyer, Nicholas Fee, and the assistant city law director, Troy Essex. That dude deserves fired. That dude deserves to hit rock bottom. Why? Because he said when someone was sticking up for me, the only the person they tried to claim was a victim was coming forward to be my witness, and this scumbag says, well, he deserves to hit rock bottom. Well, you know what? So I said, okay, let's go. Here's rock bottom. I am at fucking rock bottom. Okay, what about you, Mr. Essex? It's your turn, and I still gotta get around and get that video where I'm gonna call him out. It's his turn, and why ain't his superiors knocking him down a couple of notches, huh? Because he would never, I guarantee it, never be able to take it on as long as I have. There's a lot of people, and I'm not trying to overcredit myself, because I'm so thankful as a moment right now, and I know the people out there that do care about me, they're thankful, because there's enough that I know that have been concerned the whole time I've been taking this on, and they watch me go down further and further and further, and they get concerned about me, and and as I myself start to get concerned about myself, you come down to the lowest pits that you've never been in, and a lot of people don't make it out. And don't survive it. And that's all I need to say about that, right? The thing is, Troy Essex, it's your turn. But anyways, so what kind of people are these? So let's check this out for a minute. If you want to check out in the Bible, Romans chapter 2. Now, if I read this stuff, I'm reading from the King James Version. And I get, how some people think, oh, that's hard to understand. But you can check whatever version you're using. There's a lot of versions you need to stay away from. Maybe I know, stay away from the NIV, but maybe if you got the NLT, maybe that's okay. I don't know. But I know a friend of mine uses NLT, and that seems to be a decent translation. But I use the King James, but whatever. I'm not here to preach about what Bible you should use. Not on this video anyway, right? Or anything like that. This ain't here about preaching. I'm going to open your eyes to something here about our men of law, the men of the law, right? Romans chapter 2. And so let me start out here for a minute. I just want to start in the beginning just for a minute to set the foundation of this. Where he starts out on chapter 2, verse 1. Therefore, thou art inexcusable, O man, whosoever thou art that judges, for wherein thou judgest another, thou condemns thyself, for thou that judgest doest the same things, right? But we are sure, okay, verse 2, but we are sure that the judgment of God is according to truth against them which commit such things. And thinkest thou this, O man, that judgest them which do such things, and does the same, that thou shalt escape the judgment of God? Right? So, let's put that in. What is the law saying there, right? Really? What is he saying there? That you man of the law. Now, we'll understand that here he's talking about Jews versus non-Jews. Is because when I get a little bit further into this, you'll understand this. And as I said before, a lot of stuff they don't preach a lot from Romans except a few certain things, because that's the thing about Romans is in different parts of the Bible, but Romans is one of them where it talks about you hypocrites, really. You think you're this, but here you are being false. Right? So you false Christians, false Jews, or whatever. So what he's getting at is the Jew versus the non-Jew. The Jew versus the Gentiles, right? We're like most of us over here in America are Gentiles, unless you're from a Jewish family. And I've never done anything to see if whatever. But the thing is, circumcision versus we'll get into this, right? But that's what he's saying. Listen here, man, right, is you think you're excusable just because you're a man of the law, and here you do the same things. You break the law yourself, right? And that's very much pertains to you can be reading that and think about it in a religious form, or you can think about it and just take a look around you right now. What we got going on here in our world right now is the law, right? You men of law, you think you're above everybody because you judge somebody based on the law, and you are using the law against them, and here you are doing the same thing, But so anyway, and that's what he's saying pretty much. There is you hypocrite. What do you think you're inexcusable because you judge me based on the law, because you're let's consider my situation for a minute, Mr. Whether it be Troy Essex, Mr. Roars, or the judge from the other court, any of these people, the sheriff, because you're a man of the law, and you think you're inexcusable because you find whatever to use against me, a non-law man, outlaw man, I guess, right? You want to judge me and cause all these problems on me, on my life, and persecute me, even though you yourself are violating those laws, right? So then we'll go to okay, so we're still in Romans chapter 2. We're just staying on chapter 2 on this. Now we'll go down to I'm not gonna. You can read the whole thing if you want, but I'm just taking things that I can put into perspective for you. So we'll go down to verse 11. For there is no respect of persons with God. So you know what I'm saying. So just judgment. God is the just judge, and He will serve justice to all of us, on in one way or another, but especially on Judgment Day. But He serves it through us. Like a lot of people call it karma. You can call it karma. It's not karma. It's God being just. Okay, when you go against the law, and His law is just. Okay, God's law is just, and things have to happen. A lot of people try to blame God for things, but things have to happen in order for Him to be a just God, right? And the law is there, His law is there. But if you're going to use here's what people mistake as karma. It's God putting out His judgment when He and especially when someone, any of us, and but especially these lawmen or whatever, but if someone wants to act against you and cause certain things on you, and they think they're going to be and they're wrong, and it's wrongfully, and they're not justified in it, and God's going to even a score and justify it, and something very similar is going to happen to you, and we all call it karma, but it's not karma. It's the law working itself out, right? And then verse 12, for as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law, and as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law, right? So, the thing is, God's going to judge those who are claiming to be, you're claiming to be within the law, you're claiming to be part of the law, and here you are breaking that law. You're going to be judged by that same law, right? And it's going to be poured out upon you, your just deserves, based upon that law, okay? So, I mean, as an example, if you take one of these hires of the church back then in those days that they're talking about, and as an example, right? And they judge somebody, they persecute somebody, jail somebody, or kill somebody off, stone them or whatever, because they, committed adultery, we'll say, right? Well, and then this person also on their own end secretly commits adultery. Well, you're going to be judged by that law. Okay, maybe the person you judged ain't even within that law, right? Maybe they weren't a Jew, maybe they were a Gentile, and they judged, so this hire of the church judged this person, and here this person is a person of the law. The person they judged wasn't. Well, the person of the law is going to be judged absolutely by that law, right? They will be judged accordingly in the same as they have judged, right? And then verse 13, for not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified, right? So just because you hear the law, just because you know the law, and just because you work within the law, you're not justified, okay? You're justified when you follow the law, right? So, I mean, if I take my example, my case as an example, what they've done to me, you take this judge and prosecutor and all that, and the sheriff, and it all started with the sheriff, right? Sheriff's office. If you take what they've done to me, these people, they're a part of the law, and they think they get away with it or whatever. They're lawmen, they're workers of the law, but they are not following the law, so they are unjustified, and God's going to justify it. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these, having not the law, are a law unto themselves, right? Which show the work of the law written in their hearts, their conscience also bearing witness in their thoughts, the meanwhile accusing or else excusing one another. And then verse 16, in the day when God shall judge the secrets of men by Jesus Christ according to the gospel, right? According to the law, right? So, then we go down to, we'll keep going. Verse 17, behold, thou art called a Jew, and restest in the law, and makest thou boast of God, and knowest his will, and approvest the things that are more excellent, being instructed out of the law, and art confident that thou thyself art a guide of the blind, a light to them which are in darkness, an instructor of foolish, a teacher of children, which hast the form of knowledge and the truth and law. Now, I'm saying I'm in the King James Version. Sometimes I put my own words in there for what it means, okay? But you can read it for yourself. I'm not trying to change any of the stuff because it said teacher of babes. I'm saying teacher of children, right? Verse 21, thou art therefore which teach another, teach not thyself, right? Thou that preaches a man should not steal, does thou steal? Thou that says a man should not commit adultery, does thou commit adultery? Thou that abhorrest idols, does thou commit sacrilege? Thou that makest thy boast of the law, through breaking the law, dishonors God, right? For the name of God is blaspheming among the Gentiles through you, as it is written. For circumcision verily profiteth if thou keep the law. But if thou be a breaker of the law, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision. Therefore, if the uncircumcision keep the righteousness of the law, shall not his uncircumcision be counted as for circumcision? And shall not uncircumcision, which is by nature, if it fulfill the law, judge thee, who by the letter and circumcision does transgress the law? For he is not a Jew which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision which is outward in the flesh. But he is a Jew which is one inwardly, and circumcision is that of the heart, in the spirit, and not in the letter, whose praise is not of men, but of God. Right? So you're being, that's what I'm saying, you're being a man of the law, and you're putting yourself above the law, but yet you break the law, right? And so what he's saying is where the Jews has a big thing. Back then, it was the Jews are the Christian, Jews are the Gentiles, right? Either you're a Jew or you're not. And if you're a Jew, you must be, according to the law, according to the Old Testament law, and I'm not talking 10 Commandments, just talking about the law from the scriptures, is you needed to be circumcised, right? And he's saying, and that was a big deal to them. But he's saying, but here you are boasting that you're within the law because you follow the circumcision and all this and that, but you're breaking the law. But you're breaking that law. You're not honoring that law. You will be judged by that law, and you are not, just because you think you went and got physically circumcised, you're not technically really circumcised because you're not abiding by that law. You just think you can follow this or that, but yet break the real law of God, which is, mostly how we treat one another and whether we love one another or not, and follow the 10 Commandments. That's the real law, is the 10 Commandments, right? And so that's where I'm going with that. You want to as an example, you judge for adultery, but you're committing adultery. You want to judge for praising idols, but yet you yourself do these things that are praising to idols. You boast because you're an instructor of the law, and you feel like you do these good deeds, and you're helping people see this, and you're helping guide the weak, and all this and that. And the truth is, you're not following the law, and when you're violating the law, you're going to be judged by that law. That's all I want to say about that today, I guess. And I just wanted to, point some of that out. And then here we are, that pertains, we got these men of law who are scumbags and violate all kinds of laws themselves, right? And they want to ruin my life over because I just ended up in front of them. And it's not just me, it's all kinds of people. You got these cops pulling you over for speeding, and that's their reason to pull you over. And like in my case, I run around with expired tags. I ran up there to the state police building, and while I'm talking to them, one comes behind my vehicle and runs my tags, and I'm running around on expired tags. Well, you know what? Because that's my right. It's my right to travel, so I'm not going to renew my tags. That's my thing, right? But is it going to cause me some problems? Probably. But you take something like that, they'll pull me over because of expired tag, or they'll pull you over for speeding, or whatever minor infraction, which is not technically really the law, it's part of the rules. And then they'll fine you, and if need be, like in my case, I end up getting pulled over for the expired tag. This judge is going to have a heyday with me, is he not? Because the way I'm not backing down. Okay, they'll look for every excuse to turn that into a way to throw me back into jail. But these people are scumbags who are breaking the law every day. First of all, okay, let's take Essex. Let's take the sheriff's department. They're men of the law, and they look for every excuse to come up and interfere in your life. And then when they get that excuse, then they ruin your life. The sheriff's office threw me in jail for a crime I didn't commit, but because they think that the law says this, that gives them the right to throw me in jail and then do all these things. But meanwhile, as I said, the second day they put me back in jail, the second night, on the way to jail, Officer Little was the one taking me to jail, to CCNO. That's like 15 miles from here, 15 to 20 miles from here. It's, you know, in another county. And takes me to jail. On the way to jail, he's going down the highway texting while driving, you know, and that's a fact. And it even called him out for it on my one video. If you seen where they came to my house, I was like, oh, ain't that against the law? And he tried, well, you can't be cited for it. Well, you remember that, people of Defiance? How many times are you being cited for it? Of course, I'm against, you know, that raised a concern with me because I'm in the back of his car. I'm a biker, okay? I'm a, you know, one of the hardest things for me right now is not being able to ride my motorcycle because I'm a real true biker, you know, and there's people that's called me out for being, hey, you know, I got an old post that, I'll post it up if I saved it, where like 10 years ago, somebody gave me a shout out on Facebook. Hey, shout out to Larry Steele, real biker, because it was like cold as hell, pouring down rain, 10 years ago in October, right? And I was the only one out there on my bike. Well, that's how I was until I absolutely couldn't ride no more. I was on that bike day in and day out. And that's, I'm connected, you know, and whatever, I'm connected to my bike, you know. You don't know how bad it hurts that they took away my motorcycle, won't give it back to me, and they got no right. And that motorcycle, Gracie, right? I've written love notes on Facebook to my bike, Gracie. I've written a love song to my motorcycle, right? Whatever, it is what it is, but that's how much it is a part of me. And so when he's texting, and my point is he's texting and driving, I take a big offense to that. Dude, you're not paying attention to the road, okay? But yet you want to throw me in jail for something that I didn't even do, because you want to find some technicality that gives you the right to throw me in jail, and it wasn't, okay? You're a man of the law, and look at you boasting like you're a man of the law. He kept telling me, well, it's the law. I'm sorry, it's the law. But you're violating the law, okay, right? They pull you over for speeding, and these fools are speeding every day, right? You see me, my other video where I was sitting uptown in the middle of the night, that one Saturday night, whatever, laws apply to thee, rules for thee, rules, you know, or whatever, right, is my one video. I was up there and I caught, you know, there was I was just up in town watching, showing everybody how the police just come out that time of night on the weekends because they're looking for all the easy DUIs and stuff like that. And they're speeding through town left and right. And I caught 2 of them, you know, state police speeding through town, but they're going to pull you over, and that's going to be their excuse to search your vehicle and ruin your life. Oh, you were speeding. Oh, you mind, give me your license. Oh, okay, you want to step out. You've been drinking. You've been doing this and that. You mind if we search your vehicle? Blah, 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 right? But these people, but it don't matter if they're speeding. It don't matter that they want to, like, they could pull me over for my expired tag, right? They haven't yet, but, you know, maybe they just don't want none of this, right? But, maybe, right? But, you know, how is that? They pull people over all the time for expired plates, right? But meanwhile, what plates are they running on the cars they're driving? Right? They're running, they just put a picture of a badge on their car or a little license plate that says 1-800-GRAB-DUI. It's not even a real license plate, but they're allowed to do that, right? But they'll pull you over for it. Okay, then you take Troy Essex. Knew when he got that morning while I was in jail, Troy Essex should have told the judge, oh, my paperwork here shows that nobody was harmed, no one was believed to be a threat, the paperwork proves it, we're going to have to let this guy go. No, instead, he went ahead and went on with the charges and decided to pursue charges for the state against me. And then the judge should have known better, and especially when the judge wants to excuse himself, but he obviously heard recorded evidence, this recording that they're telling me don't exist. I requested it, I demanded my lawyer get it, and I even did a freedom of information request myself for it, because this specific recording is when the one sheriff deputy pulled me over the next night and come running up my vehicle. All the shit he said and all the shit he did was proved he was violating me, right? And proved he didn't have a right to be doing what he did. But Instead, the judge uses that recording and tells me I called him a liar and goes off on me because I called him a liar. First of all, what were you doing hearing that evidence already? Judge, you're supposed to be impartial, but you used that to side against me before the trial, even before anything should have been judged. And you used that for your excuse, and I didn't, whatever, because you are a liar, right? And but then what else? The judge put on a temporary protection order on me without following the required hearing according to due process, violating my due process. So what I'm saying is all these scumbags ruined my life and acted the way they did because they're men of law, but they think they're above the law, right? That's what this is about, Romans chapter 2, right? You're not above the law, and surely the law is going to handle you. And it might not be the law you're using to judge me on. That same law, God will dish out justice, and God's judgment is just, right? That's what I'm getting at with all this. And so this whole deal with let's stop being foolish, people. You want to, especially, my town's full of Republicans. You guys want to sit there and side with Trump. Hey, I'm not cutting you down on that, but how dare you sit there and act like it's horrible what they're doing to Trump, and you're outraged over it, what they did to Trump, because they violated his due process rights and attacked his property. That's what they did to me from day one. They took me away from my property and took away my property from me without following due process, because had they followed due process, they wouldn't have had the right to do it. Anyways, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if there's any questions I'm not answering, any comments, leave your comments. I'm glad to hear them and want to know your thoughts, and it helps me to do better on my videos, and or address things that sometimes I'm getting on here and I'm not rehearsed or written out on most of my stuff. So you make your comments, and then it inspires me to either try to explain better what I'm saying, or inspires me to do more videos. And anyways, appreciate it. Talk to you later.